The following program contains material that is just too cute. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to a world where cuddly knows no bounds. A place filled with new beginnings. Witness the miracle of cute. From their first mighty triumphs to their daring misadventures. It's two pint-sized puppy coming-of-age stories that are flat-out adorable. Because these puppies are just too lovable, too determined, too cute. In a lovely suburban home, our story begins with a shaggy dog whose breed has an elegant name. Lola is a Spinoni Italiano, a dog known for its retrieving skills. But Lola has one very specific and rather unusual thing she likes to retrieve, especially when warm and fresh out of the dryer. Lola is a collector of socks. But these days, she's got less time for collecting because she's got a new collection. 9 perfect puppies. 5 boys and 4 little girls. The Spinoni Italiano hails from the Piedmont region of Italy and was first bred to be Italy's all-purpose hunting dog. But today, they're mostly family pets who are happiest and most secure when surrounded by loved ones. And right now, this white pup in the middle named Wally is happy as a clam. Wally always sees to it that he's got someone within paw's reach. But recently, his tight-knit world has come undone. The pups are itching to explore the world around them. Especially this pushy pup named Frankie, who's leading the charge over his brother and away from the blanket. As much as you can call this a charge. But little Wally isn't sure he's ready for this next step. And with his siblings scattering, he heads for Mom. But Mom's got to stretch her legs sometimes. And suddenly, Wally finds himself all alone and adrift in the big, wide-open living room. Luckily, Mom's back with something to calm her little boy. She understands the need to have a soft and warm thing to call your own. And the big wide world isn't quite as daunting when you face it with your very own security sock. Some dogs thrive on structure and order. 4-year-old pug Halie is one of them. Good thing she's got a dream job at a place that's always orderly. A library. While many libraries have a no pets policy, this one welcomes 4-legged friends once a week to get young readers excited about books. It's a day Halie never misses. She adores the calm quiet, the neat and tidy landscape, and greeting library patrons by the front desk. And though it's volunteer work, Good library behavior is rewarded. But lately, Halie hasn't been able to get out much. Her new litter of 7 keeps her glued to the living room. The average pug litter is around 4. So these 4 boys, plus 3 girls, is quite a workload. Especially now that they're walking. And with everyone wanting to go his or her own way, the orderly mom has one very strict rule. Stay where mom can see you. And she enforces it with librarian no-nonsense. Halie's not taking any breaks until she's certain everyone's in line. But Halie's unusual for her breed. Most pugs aren't known for their good discipline. In fact, pugs are known as the class clowns of the dog world. They tend to stay puppy-like throughout their lives and approach the world with mischievous curiosity. And this little boy named Oscar already seems to have that mischievous glimmer in his eye. So while Mom's out of the room, Oscar takes the opportunity to break her #1 rule and goes where she can't find him. But his chance to make a new hideout fails, with Golden Boy Dwight keeping tabs. Seems like with a tattletale brother and a librarian mom, naughty Oscar's going to have to work a little harder to pull anything over on this family. For puppies, there's nothing more liberating than running outside for the very first time. Unless you're Wally, who finds all this open space a little overwhelming. He could get lost out here. Or even worse, his favorite sock could get lost out here. So Wally sticks to one safe area. But when he sees his siblings heading off, Wally worries that he'll be left behind. And this seems like a safe place to leave his sock for just a moment. But a moment is all it takes for his brother Frankie to find it. And as far as Frankie can see, the only fun thing to do with a sock is taunt your timid brother. It's Wally's worst worry come true. And the more he tries to get his sock, the deeper he gets pulled into Frankie's game of keep-away. But strangely, he's so into the game that he forgets to worry about getting lost. And pretty soon, he's not even all that worried about his sock. It seems the worrywart puppy might just be learning to let go. And sometimes, a sibling to play with is even better than a sock to hold on to. Back in Pug Town, Halie makes her triumphant return to work at the library. And today, her 7-week-old pups are old enough to join her. Mom gets right back to work at the front desk. And on this special day, her pups get to work too, showing pint-sized patrons how much fun Story Hour can be. But like his mom, Dwight thrives on order. And as far as he's concerned, things are getting way out of hand. But naughty Oscar sees this as an opportunity. He thrives on mischief. And with Mom's #1 rule being stay in sight, hiding is Oscar's #1 thrill. Until suddenly Oscar realizes he's a little lost in this vast new landscape. Luckily, Mom knows the story with this little pug and sets out to find him. And she knows every nook and cranny around here. And for once, Oscar is only too happy to stay in Mom's sight. Out in the country, it's a day of big expectations for Mom Rena, as her 7 search and rescue trainees suit up for the very first time. Out on the training ground, the search and rescue trial is set as 2 volunteers go undercover. The pups are learning to track down human scent. And it's Hardy Marge who leads the charge. But to timid Ted, that wild terrain looks a little too wild. But it doesn't faze his lively pug pal Franny, who heads out on her own little adventure. But soon this pug gets all turned around and finds herself a little lost. It's then that Ted hears something. And it's a familiar sound. But there's still fears of the unfamiliar to conquer if this timid pup is going to reach her. And then Ted digs deep. Turns out all Ted needed was a friend in need to summon the search and rescue pup within. Miles away on a sunny afternoon in the city, Mom Soda and her roommates Whiskey and Token have found a shady spot in the backyard. And even in a bigger space, this tiny trio is so accustomed to close quarters that they prefer to keep it that way. Not so for the 8-week-old Havanese triplets. They can't wait to stretch their growing legs in a bigger playing field. Frank and Fraser throw themselves into the urban jungle. As usual, the brothers have left Hazel behind. She looks for her spiky roommate, who's probably too little to explore the great outdoors. But then, Hazel hears a familiar sound. The last time she encountered this stuff was with her prickly new friend. And there she is. Prickle invites the pup in for a dip. But Hazel's not convinced. But these days, Prickle has gotten rather good at winning the pup over. And soon enough, Hazel joins the pool party. And as Rough and Fluffy come together, Prickle has proved that even the spikiest of roommates can become a faithful friend. Back in the country, the 6-week-old Siberian quintuplets are bickering over everything. And Mom Cora is growing weary of playing referee, all by herself. Dad Boris manages to stay out of the fray. But Cora's just about had enough. She lets Boris know he's on call for the afternoon, which is no problem for the laid-back dad, who's confident he can parent lying down. But only boy Calvin doesn't take anything lying down. Luckily, Dad knows an easy game to keep Calvin occupied, and it doesn't require him to lift a paw. But Calvin is ready for a new game. Suddenly, Dad realizes it's a little too quiet. He's lost Calvin. And Cora won't be pleased about it. Luckily, Calvin's not missing for long, but seeing Dad up on his feet looks like an invitation for a game of keep-away. But keeping up with Calvin isn't easy. And when Dad stops to catch his breath, Calvin disappears again. And now it's time for Boris to face the music. But then, Calvin shows up and cuts the discussion short. Mom's got to hand it to Dad. He does seem to have things under control. Perhaps there's something to be said for the paws-off approach. Little does she know that thanks to Calvin, Dad's decided to adopt a more hands-on approach. Back with the Turkish Angoras, Mom Glitter is giving her 6-week-old kittens a little more freedom around the salon. She's allowing them to chat up the customers in the waiting lounge. And even help out with cleanup. But while Mom's given them these new freedoms, Flyaway Girl Izzy takes her own liberties. And today she discovers a hobby closet that's every kitten's dream. A dream Izzy is quick to pounce on. But she's in for a rude awakening when Mom shows up. And while Izzy has had a good run, she finally gets herself caught. But while finding herself in a tangle, Izzy's actually glad to see Mom. Because even the most independent kittens sometimes need someone big to show them the way. Out in the country with the Siberian Huskies, it's a rite of passage for the 7 pups. Today, they'll pull their first sled. First, they get front row seats for Mom Cholia and Dad Denahi's demonstration. And then it's the pups' turn to pull their own sled. Well, they've got to start somewhere. Bold little Olaf can't wait to show off his pack leader moves. But he's so eager that he gets a bit too caught up in the activity. But once Olaf's set back on track, he's paired up with sledmate Aurora, who immediately takes the lead. But Olaf's not ready to accept a pack leader that's not him. And this sledding duo isn't exactly off to a speedy start. But seeing his champion parents looking on gives Olaf the motivation he needs. And the wannabe pack leader with a bad track record finally heads up his first pack expedition. At the Irish Red and White Setter House, Mom Penny's relieved that her bustling family of 12 can now join her out in her favorite place, the backyard playground. At 7 weeks old, runt of the litter Lil, with a spot on her head, is still the littlest in the bunch. And when you're the smallest in a supersized family, the rowdy crowd is best avoided. Especially when you've got your very own toy to play with, all by yourself. But Lil doesn't get the toy to herself for long. It's sure tough being the smallest setter in the squad. But then there's a glimmer of hope. Mom's friend Skipper has retrieved Lil's toy. And when Mom helps out too, the little runt is reunited with her plaything. And this time, she's not about to let it go. When a bigger pup throws his weight around, Lil digs deep and proves that this pint-sized pup can match a big pup's bravado any day. Back in the city, while Maltese mixed triplets Poppy, Piper, and Ralphie have settled nicely into their foster home, their shy mom Coco just can't relax. Especially since she met feline housemate Lucky, who she would rather keep away from her precious pups. But when Mom heads off for a quick break, Ralphie sees his chance to get away. Unlike his mom, this bold little foster pup isn't afraid of new adventures. And if the cat can climb that mountain, then why can't he? Stumpy legs aside, where there's a will, there's a way. Seems it's not Lucky's lucky day, with the puppy invader getting closer and closer to his hideout. Against the odds, it looks like Ralphie's gonna make it all the way to only halfway. Well, even intrepid puppies need a breather now and then. Meanwhile, Mom has noticed her triplets are a twosome. She's off to find Ralphie, but discovers he's being watched over rather well. So when the cautious cat comes down, this cautious mom finally lets her guard down. And at last, the whole blended family can relax together in their shared home. Back at the Ragdolls House, serene Mom Dolly Purton is having some me time in her bathroom retreat, while her 5 baby dolls play far away in the living room. Well, make that 4 baby dolls. Fidgety Jolene, bored by this playroom's activities, is looking for some action farther afield. And little does Mom know, her sanctuary is about to be invaded. Mom tries to show her restless kitty how to calmly enjoy her retreat. Even giving her a taste of serene spa grooming. But Jolene has other ideas. Soon, the rest of the crew arrives on the scene. And faced with 5 playful kittens, Mom can see that her sanctuary might need surrendering for the day. Back at the Shelties farm, little Max can hardly contain his excitement. After weeks of being watched inside, Mom and Dad have finally taken him outdoors. But they're not just here for fun and games. Mom and Dad have an important agenda, Max's first herding lesson. But the attentive parents have decided it's best for Max to start small. And this mini herd of Polish-crested chicks fits the bill just fine. All-star herder Mom is eager to show him how it's done. And now it's Max's turn. The proud parents can hardly wait to see their only pup in action. Well, he's certainly got enthusiasm. Too bad it doesn't really count as herding. Perhaps Mom just needs to show him again. But, oh dear, this time not only isn't the herd moving, Max isn't moving either. So far, this lesson isn't going quite as planned. Distractions lurk around every corner. Gino's had his eye on Max as a potential playmate, since he's the only dog around for miles who's Gino's size. And pretty soon, Mom and Dad's hopes of teaching Max to herd today are bouncing away. And the ambitious parents are beginning to worry that the only footsteps he seems to want to follow in are Gino's. Back in suburbia, in the land of the tailless Manx, there's one kitten who really sticks out. 4-week-old Charlie is starting to realize he's not like everyone else. And his extra appendage is turning heads in his otherwise tailless family. Little Charlie is starting to feel like he just doesn't fit in with his family. But today he notices something interesting. There's another tail in the house. Buddy, the senior citizen Siamese, is enjoying the view from his peaceful perch. Little Charlie can hardly wait to finally meet someone else like him. But the kitten's not been schooled in the language of tails, and he doesn't know Buddy's tail is saying, "Do not disturb." So with great determination, Charlie makes his way to the top. And before Buddy can object, the little kitten, exhausted from the big climb, is out like a light. Well, at least he's quiet now. For the moment, Buddy figures it's not so bad having a little buddy to share your perch.